so dirty. Can't clean my glasses with my shirty. Making it worse. Why don't I have a cleaning thing here? I do, of course. Cleaning my glasses so that I can see. Then I can do a stream. 1, 2, 3. They're almost clean. There we go, they're clean. There's still a weird sheen. Oh my god, they're still so filthy when I hold them up to the lights. I can't see through my glasses. Why won't they stop being so smeared? My glasses are smeared. It looks super weird. Alright. Close enough. Alright, let's try. This won't drive me crazy, I'm sure. I'm sure this won't drive me crazy. It's just a bunch of streaks on my glasses. Yasmira with a little fox. Oh no. Listening to Pretzel Rocks. And I think I can... Why is nothing working? Am I on the right screen? Am I too close to the microphone to start to sing? Then the beat drops and I go flip-flop. It's me. Here I separated that too far. Can't find the start button. Oh yes, now I remember. Pause this. And then Ripley. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, calm down. Alright, I think I'm ready. I know I definitely forgot something. I got water, got headphones, microphone's in the right place, got a little fan that I can barely feel, and all the lights are on. Alright? And everything's good on your end? As long as everything's good on your end. Didn't mean to be insulting, I'm just saying, if you're good to go, then let's go. If you're not good to go, then do the thing that you need to do before we start with the let's going. That's what I'm saying. Meow, 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 meow. Fantastic. Hello! Yes, Yasmira. That cat does in fact have boobs. That's Ripley. That was one of my cats, and of course Milo was my other cat that came before Ripley. But it's like, oh, Milo's lonely. We should definitely get a cat for Milo to hang out with. And then this guy hates everything, and Ripley was basically an invisible cat that nobody ever saw. But she always came to me and snuggle with me for, a good 5 minutes until disappearing into the wherever she would go, for hours, if not days on end. But yeah, she's my producer, director. She handles all of the gear, makes sure all the things work, and that you can hear me through the microphone. And Space Goonie 42 is back with another subscription. Hey, Miles! But yeah. Well, first I had a cat who was very mean and hated everybody and everything, and then Milo was to be his accomplice, but Milo showed up with fleas, so Vertigo hated him forever, and then Vertigo died, and then Ripley came in, Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, this theme's real depressing right off the bat. Right off the bat. Talking about dead cats. I mean, you know, especially when we're right here, when you're doing it right to our faces, talking about how we're dead and how, you know, we were horrible sometimes. I mean, I was the best. I know that, but, you know, how sometimes Ripley was, you know, mostly horrible. Ripley was the best. Ripley's still the best. She's the greatest, sweetest angel in the world, and you're a borderline villain. You're a borderline villain. Oh, borderline? So, you know, that still be the... I'm still okay then. So I'm still okay, kind of like the Venom. You know, hey, I'm the Venom, and also I'm that other guy that's not Venom, so part of me's good and part of me's bad. And then we solve crimes and we're super rad. Venom! The Venom theme song. Yep, that's the Venom theme song we all know and love. So anyway, mostly, I don't feel like doing a stream today. But I wanted to try out my new light/sign that I made. Just a couple layers of cardboard, and then I went back in and I put a bunch of, there was also a bunch of like metallic tape around the back where the lights are, and I added more, so it kind of, you can't see it here, but in real life, there's a nice little blue texture on the wall that I think looks really good. Replaced the red curtains with some blue curtains. They look pretty good, and now I want to replace this chair, of course, but chairs are expensive, so no deal. But I think that's all the things. Why would there be more things? I mean, what more things could there be to do and to, you know, be aware of in this day and age? Hey bros, does it have to do with me? Did you guys get a new surfboard? Or a surfboard? Guys, if you have gone surfboard shopping and you haven't included me in your surfboard decision making, bros, I'm all about those surfboards, bros. Bros? Surfboards? For the last time, Ted, no, we are never ever talking about surfing or surfboards, and barely even talking about going in the water, Ted. Barely even talking about going in the water. So, I mean, in all fairness, you know, so Ted is the good guy? Is Ted the only good guy here? I mean, I know I'm the greatest, but, you know, my greatness comes with a price, and that price is, you know, I'm vengeful, and I also do things to you while you sleep. But regardless, is Ted the only good person in this whole conglomerate of nonsense and ne'er-do-wells? Guys, you can only be as good or as bad as you allow yourself to be. And, you know, just being good and peaceful and awesome is just a great way to be. And it's the best way to keep, you know, righteous on your board. If your head is full of negative thoughts, then you're going to be off balance, guys, and you're going to be under that water. And that's where the sharks are, bros. The sharks. And sometimes, just because someone is good doesn't mean they're not annoying. Alright? But I love Ted. I do love Ted a lot. He's the greatest cat I've never met. But yeah, if you want to follow Ted on Instagram, he's at Bill and Ted But Cats. That whole word, Bill and Ted But Cats. Maybe there's some underscores in there where Bill and Ted the Cats, owned by my friends Avocado Shake and Mr. Drake. I stole one of their pictures from Instagram and I put him on the wall just like Mr. Dressup's Wise Old Owl, whatever that owl's called. This was just Wise Old Owl. Twit-to-wee, twit-to-woo. Do you have a question for me, to you? Yeah, I think it was just Wise Old Owl. Just one T. Bill and Ted But _ cats. Maybe Avocado Shake will be here earlier? Maybe Avocado Shake will time travel back to before I started saying things. And she'll pop the name up there to be sure. Which I can easily find it, actually. Search. B-I-L-L. Oh, no, it's all one word, I think. Bill and Ted But Cats. All one word. Back to my remote control buttons. Yeah, so at work today, spent like so much of from yesterday till today, I spent all of the time trying to figure out how to make a thing work as opposed to doing it. Like, experimenting with different layers, different layer blending and masks to try and animate this cat for somebody basically that's like also in space, but there's also space like within the cat, so all the different body parts need to still mask out anyway, it kind of works, but at the end of the day there was still a bunch of masking glitches, so I still need to figure out how to render out this animation. I did it as frames, less errors, so I might have to meticulously go in and replace frame after frame, and although that's not a huge deal, I have to do multiple things, and I'm getting surgery on Thursday, so I only have tomorrow and tonight to do it, so I stopped trying to figure that out and decided to come draw a monster real quick, and yeah, talk to some cats and whatnot. That's about it. What about me? Are we here to talk to me anymore? Remember how you said it's too hard to use my voice? Because my voice is grating and it irritates everybody. Yeah. Oh my god. Batman. Shh. It's too gravelly. It's too gravelly, too many words, and also the force at which you speak. It's exhausting. I'm only made of so much energy over here. I'll do a little circle. Can't remember my buttons now. I'm so confused. Did another Streamlabs live stream. That's where Yasmira is coming from. On Friday, did some more giveaway art from people's suggestions from Twitter or whatever. Super fun. This time, no hate crimes, no weird jerks in the chat like the last few times. There's usually only like one or two that pop in or like, hey, a hearty FU to you, sir. And I'm like, well, what's the deal with that? And then I'll kind of make fun of it for a little while without actually not acknowledging them, which I think is fun. But I could do the same kind of monster. What's a different kind of monster I could do? Do somebody that's all mouth. Alright, as I start to draw this, it's just becoming Kang and Kodos in my head. Or one of the many octopus monsters. I have no ideas today. I literally just can't stop thinking about how to adjust these. Not on last Friday. There was no jerks. That was a real good day. The one before, I don't think you could see it, but I could see in the here's some comments that aren't posted that was just like, you're stupid. Go F yourself. Like what? Why though? I'm just drawing pictures over here. Just doing my job in front of people. What's your problem, guy? And then those occasional people that are like, but don't you realize that Stream Elements is better than Streamlabs? Like, depends on where you're coming from. Streamlabs pays my bills. I use their software and their gear, and they send me this fancy light. That's awesome. It's an awesome light. The Logic Lightra Glow from Logitech. It's pretty great. I've never met anybody from Stream Elements. I don't know anything about them, but every once in a while, somebody will jump in and just be like, hey, by the way, big companies are jerks. Like, yeah, everything is, but from where I am, they're like 90% of the time not jerks, and the jerkiness that I think that is jerkiness is, hey, we're having like a big staff party. Everybody get on the Zoom call and we'll play some like games and be like friendly with each other. Like, no, I'm very happy that everyone gets along and you're all very good friends, and that's great, and I feel friendly with everybody, but when the working day is through, girls just want to have fun, man. And by fun, I mean, I just want to go lay down and or do nothing or whatever, so it's just like, but other than that, they're real good to me. They treat me nice and make me feel like a good person. And so far for me, the stuff always works, But yeah, that's the only thing is like, well, once I changed over got a new computer a while ago now, and just got more powerful internet, I don't have any more issues with it, but yeah, there is, it does take a lot of computing power, I've come to realize, but they're always working on like new codecs and new things or whatever to try and make things process better, faster, etc. I don't want him to have a big angry mouth. I just want him to be a monster. That's a good monster body shape. And it's pretty hot in here today. And mostly, again, like, those aren't words. All the people that I work with as well, or most of them are quite a bit younger than me as well too. So it's just kind of like, I don't understand what you guys are saying a lot of the time. Like you don't understand what I'm saying a lot of the time. We have different reference points, and mostly I have little to no interest in playing Sus, the game, Among Us. I can never remember the name of it. It's always like those, you know, kind of games that are like, they're just not the kind of games I play anyway. Yeah, and plus, I don't know, it just has all the features. My biggest reason, honestly, for obsessing over Streamlabs is having the remote on my phone, so I can just switching back and forth between shots, so I can have all my characters without having to become a full-on VTuber, which maybe I should have done. It seems like a very popular thing lately. What do you mean switching between feeds? Like how when Ripley switches between the cameras to all the different cameras that are in here? It's seemingly like 12 cameras on all kinds of different people. Is that what you're talking about? Because I'm pretty sure that's Ripley's job. Of course, yes. I enjoy that Ripley has it on her device so that she can switch between. Thank you, sweetest Angela. You're covering all the bases. And since the camera is here, you can't quite see me pressing the buttons so deliberately anymore. Ooh, yeah. When I was teaching, it was kind of weird. There was only a few every once in a while, but yeah, there's like always the odd student that's just like, wow. What's it like to be older than me, the teacher here, and significantly older than all these students? Because I feel crazy talking to a lot of them. Because, you know, I think did memes exist then? I don't remember. But it was just weird. Like for example, like one of the classes, like Miles, 7th Dementia there, I was teaching like some kind of improv class, which I didn't realize it was an improv class. And yeah, there was this older guy there, super nice guy, really trying his best to do everything, but he was definitely just in a whole other world compared to the rest of us. And I just felt like, oh wow, like, but he was still going for it, and it was great. But I can only imagine, like, at the end of the day, you must feel crazy, like, and I mean, that's like, he was like 50-something compared to everybody else. But it's all basically what you get out of the situation, whatever you're doing. Because I mean, just being the teacher, which I'm like, I shouldn't be the teacher, this is insane. But I was like just filling in for a year, if you will. But yeah, by the end of that, I learned so much about, like, oh, this is what improv is? I've been teaching it for like a month, and I didn't know that's what this class was. I thought it was about just, about learning how to tell stories, but it was actually just getting everybody comfortable in their own skin, expressing themselves in front of people, and that's what I ended up turning it into, because I had this business class when I was in college, where it was just like, I don't want to do this, I don't understand what's happening, I just want to draw pictures. And Kate, my teacher, was like, listen, it was like, you guys are different from everybody else. I'm going to teach you different from every other class. You guys aren't trying to be business people, so I'm not going to teach you normal business stuff. You guys are a bunch of scared little nerds that are terrified to speak in front of people. And, Avocado Shake is going to Rodney Dangerfield in a new field of expertise. Damn it, fully lost track of what I was saying there now. Something about improv. Oh, yeah, so she was just like, so I'm going to teach you guys to basically be able to present yourself, because in order to be an artist, someday you're going to have to explain to somebody that you're making art or doing art or whatever. And I just kind of took that with me to just be like, well, that's what this class is about. I'm not teaching you guys to be improvisers. I don't even know what that means. What does an improviser do? For the most part, they don't get paid to pretend things. And you know, I would do improvisations. on my podcasts and whatnot. But yeah, I was just teaching those guys. I was like, listen, I was like, you're all gonna get perfect grades in this class. Basically, it was like, as long as when I say somebody, introduce yourself as a tree, step forward and introduce yourself as a tree. If you do that, you've gotten 10 points for the day or 4 points for the day, whatever the day was worth. And after a while, some people started doing it. And there were specifically like 2 or 3 people that I'm like, that person is never ever going to talk or even look anybody in the eyes. Like, they physically and mentally don't have the ability to do this, and I'm okay with that. I'm still going to do my best to work around what they can and can't do to still, instill some sort of information to them or whatever. And then one day, I wish I could remember who that was. They stood forward and they were just like, they did the weird little skit, and I think they did a little voice too, and just like, like, don't overreact. And I was like, that's fantastic, like, great. But the rest of the day I was like, oh my god, like, Becky did a thing. And like telling all the other teachers, like, what do you mean? I was just like, I get it. I'm the Mr. Holland's Opus. Don't remember what Mr. Holland's Opus is, and I don't know the... I just shot a pile of water all over myself, and I don't know why. But I was so happy that it was like, yeah, again, like, this is how things get done when, lower expectations and higher aspirations, I think, is what it is. Just trying things and not worrying about how great or terrible they might turn out. I say that I'm on like my 3rd or 4th version of this little stop motion character I've been trying to build, and I just keep tearing them apart and starting over again because it's like, it has to be perfect. I don't teach anywhere. That was, God, like 7 years ago now, maybe more. It was at the community college in New Brunswick in Miramichi, where Space Goonie is. And yeah, I was just filling in for a teacher that was out for the year, and I knew people that worked there, and they were like, hey, we need somebody to come in and do some stuff. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I literally like just quit my job that day, so I'm like, I can't handle things anymore. I need to take a break, and I need to figure out what to do with my life. And then literally that day, like, I'm laying in bed, I just went to the doctor. I got 13 years ago, because Miles was in my class. Wow, that was so long ago, Miles. Oh my gosh. Oh, snaps. So long ago. Oh, sorry. I forget what I was saying now. I just aged 13 years in 4 seconds. But oh yeah. So literally, I quit my job working on some TV shows with Space Goonies, boyfriend there, who sometimes is in here, and I was just like, I just can't anymore. I've done this for too long. I just have to stop, and I was just ready to collapse, and then I did, and yeah, the doctor was like, here's some antidepressants or anti-anxiety, whatever it was, and just go relax or whatever. And I went home, I took the pills, I laid down, and then it was like, ring, ring, and then yeah, then my friend is just like, hey, so-and-so wants to know if you'll come and teach. Like, I literally just quit my job like an hour ago and went to the doctor because I'm burnt out completely. I was like, well, it doesn't start until or after the summer. Like, good point, I'll take it. And then I didn't know what it was, got there, here's an empty room, and no syllabus, no curriculum, so you'll just have to make that up. Like, what part of I don't know what's going on here do you guys not understand? Super terrible system, awful way of running things. But I did it. There was enough information there to gather, and other people finally giving me their stuff, so that I could put together a curriculum of things. But yeah, first it was like, I can't just make up college courses out of my head. What are you talking about? And then I was like, there's a new computer system. Learn that and import all the things. Like, great. This is great and wonderful. But yeah, in the end, I got to be that guy. I got to be that teacher that was like, when students would come in and just be like, Mr. So-and-so's like said this and that, and I'd just be like, let me tell you about Mr. So-and-so. He is full of nonsense and horse plops. He is just jealous that you're already a really good artist and you don't actually need him, but you are getting better and your aspirations are above what he could aspire to be, because technically he couldn't do any of the things, and that's why he's down there in the basement. I may have had a yelling argument with that guy once over him basically saying a student needed to be taken down a peg, and I was just like, whoa, no. And then he was like, well, it's all schools like blank. It's just like people like that, and it's just like, that's where everybody else in this room is from except you elitist turd. And then whatever, I guess he got tired of being told to stop trying to date students and moved away. But whatever, I hated him. But there's always, to some people, I was still a monster in some way, because I'm just like, you can do it, like, stop saying I can do it. I'm like, well, then you can't do it. I don't really care. You paid to be there, they're paying me to be here, and I only actually have to be here for a few hours or whatever. But I'll be here as long as it takes. If somebody needs some sort of help or guidance, like Miles would come by my office and just be like, I still remember, like, I was drawing from MASH last night, and it's burned it in my mind, like, wow, like, I recognize that's Alan Alda, like, that's awesome, and that made me feel good, like, when people just showed me I made something, whereas they would hide from some other teachers where it's just like, they just make me feel like I'll never be worthy, and it's just like, yeah, because that's how they felt in the industry, that's how people make other people feel at jobs a lot of the time, and, avocado shake is always on your side. All you have to do is tell her who's the bad guy. But yeah, like there was a few people that were like that they waned back and forth between like, oh, I'm a hard ass, to, oh, I get it now. We're actually just trying to teach people to be creative and artistic and get a job at doing that thing. This is definitely becoming the hairy monster from Looney Tunes. But it was a weird job for me, just because of that, where it's like, I just want to encourage you guys. Nothing anybody's doing is wrong. Again, it was like, you might end up working on a show where you don't need any drawing skills at all, or animation skills. Excuse me. You might end up at a job where you have to do everything. You just never really know until you get out there, and if you can't do it, it's okay to be like, hey, guess what? I can't do this, and go find another job. Like, just because you start doing something doesn't mean you're indentured to that thing for the rest of your life. That's what, like, slavery was abolished a long time ago, and some people, based on the memes I've seen and jobs that I've had, there are some employers out there that do think, hey, no, I'm paying you some money, therefore I basically own all of your time, and that's not cool. That's not cool. Nobody owns all of your time. Gossamer? Oh, that's a Wikipedia link. Oh, that's his name, Gossamer. Yeah, definitely looks like him. I'll have to change this up a bit. I'll give him some horns. Make him a little smaller. But he's definitely like that pose I did want to steal. Give him an alien head. They always have names that are unexpected. Oh, H.R. Geiger, or Giger. It looks too perverse. That looks insane. But it is more or less what I wanted to do. So between his eyes, where it should be. There we go. You know what? I keep forgetting. All of these monsters, before I start, I'm like, I gotta remember to put a shirt on them, or a tie, or shorts, or something. And I always intend on doing that, a little hat. And then it's always done, and I'm like, well, now I don't want to draw anything more. And I forget to give them a little piece of clothing. Now I went to go just put a little hat on him, just like Gossamer did, just like that Gossamer threaded monster. When he grabs the briefcase and puts the little hat on at the end, it's just like scurries away. He quits being the monster for that other creepy guy in the castle. So anyway what? Oh, you have some stories? Do you have some stories this week? Did you do anything this week? Or have you just been waiting for surgery and losing your mind and going crazy and thinking, hey, I should probably clean and I should get ready for all the things because I'm going to be laid up for a little while and I should get ready to do all of those things. Yeah, mostly that. Mostly going out of my mind and trying, like, I want to complete a few things. There's, cleanup specifically. I got to get groceries still. And then, yeah, my regular, ooh, there we go. That works perfectly. Yes. Avocado shakes with the save. Little pearl earrings. There we go. Yes. And let's merge this up. We'll merge it dimes. Alright, now I'm happy. Big old belly button. Lots of scales. My only problem is the more things I do before surgery, the harder, the more it hurts. And so it's like both trying to cram in all of the chores and activities needing to get done in evenings and days, but also like halfway through some of those where I'm like, I just have to physically lay down. Like I am just in excruciating pain now. The box is so unforgiving. I want to do a 2-panel one. Anyway. But yeah, I was like trying to finish that sign. I was hoping to finish off my little stop motion guy. I was just like, that's just takes too much just to get into the gear of putting them together. Too many things. But that's, yeah, I did laundry the other day. Yesterday? Yes, today's Tuesday. I did laundry yesterday. So yeah, I have to like break it down into the smallest amount of load so I can carry it to and from the car, to and from the laundromat. So it's a bunch of trips. It's less than fun. And but yeah, either way, like when it does happen, CTK must be watching. She's offered to help out. She's like down the street and whatnot, so I'm not too worried about things. But there's just a certain amount of things that I know that when I'm laying here, I will want to do. I'll just, so it's like, oh, I have to just make sure this is moved over onto this shelf, so that I won't want to do it later, type of thing. Like just dumb little obsessive organizational things, but mostly I've already got everything ready and set up or whatever. But like, there's even just little animation-y projects and whatever. Like, it's like, oh, I wanted to work on this before I just don't feel like doing it. Matt! Oh my god, how's it going? And Pat! Matt and Pat. Look who's back. But, yeah, mostly it was just like a lot of just little things, like just projects, like setting things up, getting, putting cameras or whatever, getting lights set up, getting this thing set up just because of like, for a few days, I just had like every project was in mid-project doing all over the apartment at different places where it was like, oh my god, there's literally nowhere I can just sit and just quietly enjoy the silence. I've got everything. I'll have everything like just set up underneath the shelf on the coffee table. And then, the bedroom setup where it's like I've got a computer in there to watch TV on. Everything's within reach. Like, everything will be within reach. Getting just super easy food that I gotta throw in the microwave or the oven and don't have to think about. Or just cold stuff I can just start eating. But yeah, mostly that where it's like I just have too many plans in my head and 90% of them don't need to be done at all. And once Friday comes and I'm just laying on the couch, I'm pretty much probably just going to play Fortnite. The Cowabunga Collection, speaking of playing Ninja Turtle games again, Marco Verge, you are summoned by the powers of Grayskull with lightning and thunder. Mark over G is here to wonder. Hi, Mark. Welcome. But yeah. So I figure I'm probably just gonna mostly play video games, and I don't know. Wait for more episodes. Wait for more episodes of She-Hulk, and I also got some comic books. So I've got a bunch of She-Hulks also under the table, ready to be read, and some Ninja Turtles that I've never read before. I wanted to find the really good, fun She-Hulk comics, but our comic book store is just like a collectible store, so it doesn't have like, here's all the comics. And I don't feel like driving an hour to go to the real comic store, Strange Adventures, which is the best. One of these days I'll get back down there again, though. But also, Avocado Shakes' husband, I should say, Drake doesn't work at the comic store anymore. He was the one who told me, I don't know what that means, Mark over G. 1.241 streamer S exclamation point. Thanks for adding me to your list. I hope it's a good list, and not one of those the bad Santa list where I'm gonna get hit with coal or something. But anyway, yeah. I had a lot of fun playing the Ninja Turtles game. Love it. Still want to play it. A whole collection has just come out today. I still haven't downloaded it yet. But the Cowabunga Collection, with like the first Ninja Turtles game for the Nintendo, which is both fun and terrible and great. I still want to play it again. The arcade game, and then a couple versions of the Super Nintendo and Sega versions of the arcade game. I only really want to play like one or two of those, and a bunch of other things. No, technically Santa Claus just leaves coal in your stocking, supposedly. But if you get coal in your stocking and you have a little brother, which I do, you are going to get hit with that coal. Just facts. Just facts. Drawn with paper. And I'll probably do some drawing with paper while I'm laid up on the couch for a little while. Or I will literally just nap for a week and a half or a week until I have to go back to work. I don't know. Oh, I would imagine. The DOS version of a lot of things were pretty bad. Oh, it is so boring. I used to hate that at my last animation job. Honestly, when I earlier, you weren't here, Markover, or maybe you were, but I was talking about quitting my animation job and then immediately getting a teaching job. But in that job, we had to clean and color our own scenes. So it's like you did the rough animation, get it approved. Now clean it up, get that approved. Now paint it yourself. Just like, this takes so much. And usually when I finish animating something, I don't want to do anything with it anymore. Or I want to take a day off and then come back and click it. Oh, filling colors without a bucket tool in real life. Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. My trick for that is I use water markers. So I just put a little bit of watercolor marker on the paper, and then I get a little water brush, and whoop, just spread it all out, and then go over it with markers later. I used to spend like a day or more on a drawing, and now if it goes over like an hour and a half, I think I'm insane. Even though I usually take 2 hours on these drawings here. But whatever. So anyway, Cowabunga Collection. I feel like there's something else. There was something else I was trying to get done before all of the things, but whatever. There's always something to be working on. I mean, literally every week you keep saying that you're going to make some new Milos, because, you know, I'd like a new hat, I'd like a new mug, maybe I could have a little tie again. I miss having a little tie, that was always fun, or at least some different expressions, some different movements. You know, Ripley's got 2 cameras over there, and I've just got 1, and that seems hardly fair at all.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, just because sometimes Ripley talks and sometimes Ripley doesn't talk? Hey, yeah, don't go switch it over to the screen where I'm on the drawing screen. That doesn't count as another camera. That doesn't count as another camera at all. That's what I know. That's what I know. And that's what I said, because that's what I know.
What about me? I would like a camera, please.
Oh, for the love of fun. No. 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 Just no. I mean, no? 'Cause...
No, I want to talk to the people as well and be on your little live stream show. I'm fun and adorable, and I could be the evil villain instead of that little cat. Because that cat, in my opinion, is a good guy, and I am the evil and fun. Yeah. Also, I could have songs. I have songs like their songs. Come on now. Yeah, Beastman. I could call Beastman on the phone. We could crank call him. He falls for it every time.
No, stop moving around. That's 2 cameras already. Every time, the more you talk, the more I have to animate you doing the talking. All right? That's just, you know, it's not... If you don't talk, I still have to animate. That's still costing me time and effort. Just stop moving. No, just stop moving. Please? Just stop moving. Oh my god. Oh my god? I mean...
Can I just have several camera angles? I know the cat has 1 and the other cat has 2, but I would like another one, please. Just throw up a camera.
I only have, remember when I used to have 2 cameras, guys? I only have 1 camera, all right? You don't get to have more cameras. That means I have to then sit down and animate you again for another several hours.
That's fine, I've got time. I've got my little couch. I'll just be watching TV while you do that. Just do it in time-lapse, so it's much faster. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, to, you know, wreak havoc and cause trouble. I've got a havoc staff on my little, coach rack over here. But don't forget, I am just a little toy, magical and coming to life like a small soldier. I'd like this camera as well, so 4 cameras, please.
Excuse me. Oh my god. That was exhausting. Do you even understand? 1, how much work that took, and 2, I think you have another camera. You have 5 cameras. 5 cameras.
Nope, this is the silent one. This is the one where I'm talking. What about the other one? Ah, yes, from over here. Because the camera was too up close to where your desk is, so Then you can see me, I'm just hanging out, enjoying my soda pop. Yeah, and everything is cool, and I can just gesture away and have a good time. Everyone having a good time. It's great.
No, I don't think unacceptable, and I disagree. We got to get rid of this guy, and also jumping from his voice to my voice is difficult, and I instantly forget what I sound like. And now, what am I supposed to do with this? And with all that fighting, all of who's even you haven't been drawing anything or paying attention to any of the things in the chat. It's true, guys. Everybody, calm down. All right. Papyrus, the bootleg. What does that mean? What did I miss? I wish. Okay, we got Bucket Tool. Technically, what a nice day to waste my mere points. Papyrus, but bootleg. Did I have some font up on the thing? Don't know why you're talking about Papyrus, Markover. Oh man. But yeah, no. I draw, I make things at work, and then I pretend to be all the characters, a bunch of imaginary things in my home, like a Mr. Dress Up, every once in a while. Oh man. Exactly. All of this stuff, Yasmira, is basically based on talking at the cats when they were here. And now it's like, I still want to talk to all the cats and the animals, but I don't want to deal with their leavings and their sheddings and their dirty looks when you're just like, I'm just going to eat now. Well, I'm just going to stare at you until you hate yourself. Like, well, stop doing that. Now I hate myself. Like, mission accomplished. Do you love me? I sure do. Why? I don't know. You seem to be here just to agitate me, but they're also with love in your eyes for some reason. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Love in your eyes, that shit in your pants, right? That's here I am. That's me. Sometimes it's shit in your shoes, but mostly, it's always gonna be in your shoes. That's my jam. That's my jam. We made a whole video about it. That's the very first Milo video was about me pooping and peeing in your shoes. Remember? Yes, of course I remember. Of course I remember.
Meow, 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 meow.
We don't have a clip ready, Ripley. We're not going to a clip. We're gonna do some cleanup on this, and then I'm probably gonna poop myself to death. Oh man, it's been a weird week. Weird week. And then yeah. Take a break. Maybe download a video game. Not play it yet. Just in preparation phase with your preparation H. Having all your fun upon the preparation stage. I feel like I wanted to talk about something. Was it about how you just replaced me with an epic skeleton man? He's a skeleton man and I'm the good guy. You talked about how Ted is the good guy, but I am the goodest guy here. Hey, bro, just relax, guy. It's just cool. Nobody's trying to be the best good guy. Guys, I'm just trying to draw some pictures without putting my voice out. Oh my god, I just made myself lightheaded by doing the Batman voice too hard. But it just said that that I just subscribed or followed, or is that the other Curtis? Are you watching right now? From my Facebook? Which is weird sometimes, because I'll post something, and then it says that I liked it, then I'm like, wait, what's happening here? But it's a picture of this guy who I think is like a pharmacist or a scientist, geologist? I forget what he is now. It's something sciencey from what I remember, because I'm like, wow, I'm a scientist over here. But yeah, he's got like a family and a kid and stuff. Super nice guy. But at one point, he decided to befriend all the people on Facebook that have the same first and last name as he did, or he does, which is me and some other people. But yeah, it still always is jarring whenever I see my own name liking something. It feels a little bit nuts. And then even like my friend Amanda was like, are you going around liking all of your own posts as another account that is still yourself? I'm like, no, look at the picture. That's not me. That guy lives in the States. Why did I start cleaning up there? I never do that. Oh, yes. That's what I wanted to talk about, probably.
The making of me, Skeletor, and my wacky adventures behind the desk over here, literally 2 feet away. If this was real, you could reach over and pick me up and pull me into the scene and then put me back and everything would be fine or weird.
That's true. Ugh, he's this far away. See, I got him. And then I can put him back, and then...
Hey, that's not cool, guy. You can't just pick somebody up just because they're so tiny and shake them around. Shaking Skeletor syndrome. It's not cool. It's illegal on so many levels. I am here and my mouth is moving too fast. Keep saying more words or else you'll look foolish.
Oh, too many words. Too many words. But yeah, that was the other thing. I wanted to make a video with Skeletor. I did the animation with him over the weekend, and I was like, ooh, I still want to do a little video with him. I wish I could, Mark, but he already just got after me for touching him, so I'm gonna stay out of his space. If he had said it before, it definitely would have worked, but you know, hands are tied. Hands are tied.
Yes, it would. Nope. Yes, it would have worked just fine.
That's the one where I talk at him. That's the one where I talk at him. Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah, just looking around the room, that cut actually hooked up quite well by accident, and I'm quite impressed.
Alright, everybody. Everybody shut up for 5 minutes. I'm gonna actually do some more cleaning up in this drawing. Oh my god. This is how I spend my time, for free. I get paid to draw for other people, but this is just for me. If you don't like it, I don't even care. You can leave and just go somewhere. I'm doing this so I can know that I am making a ridiculous show. Saved to YouTube, I'll watch it again, at least in some parts to double check. I didn't offend with some weird words while I wasn't thinking and speaking and drawing at the same time. How did the voice go? Did everything rhyme? I know it doesn't, cause I am a crime. What? I'm making up rhymes. Forget some words when I start to think as I draw. Too many lines. Clean it up, make it simpler for you. What camera am I on? Okay, still on the drawing camera. Good. It is so super hot and muggy in here today. I am sweating like crazy. But just on the other side of that door is the air conditioning. I do have a story. I have a good deed for this week, eh? I was trying to at least remember something nice I did for somebody in some way, for whatever reason, and one of those, maybe some other came up, but only one that was like stuck in my head. It was mildly, partially traumatic, partially just, hey, it's Sunday or Saturday, I don't remember which day, it's good deed doing time. It was Saturday. As I mentioned earlier, I wanted to go get some She-Hulk comics because I watched the second episode of She-Hulk, and now it's like, well, now I want to read some more fun She-Hulk comics. So I went looking at the collectible store, and I grabbed one of these stormtroopers for so he can sit and have a conversation at a new episode of Skeletor's house whenever I get back to doing that. So he fits perfectly in that chair, and he can talk a lot because he's got a helmet on, and I don't have to do a whole pile of lip sync. So I got that, handful of She-Hulks, handful of Ninja Turtles, and on another expedition to find some She-Hulks, I went to the pawn shop nearby, and they didn't have any, so I just grabbed some comics anyway, because they were, like, in a bin. And then the guy was like, oh, it's buy one, get one free, like, grab another one. I'm like, there's not much left in the bin that's good, and I don't really care anymore. So I just went back over, and there's just a whole bunch of, like, Archie comics. So I was like, well, let's just grab a Betty comic from, like, 1994, just for the fun of seeing how inappropriate is this? How wrong is the existence of this book? Because, I mean, I read a lot of Archies when I was a kid. My uncle had, like, just tons of them in the outhouse, where we would go to poop at his camp, whatever. Like, we had a cabin up on the side of this mountain, the side of this big hill. And then, yeah, we pooped on a box that was over a big hole, and it smelled like the worst thing in the world, and it was just always surrounded by flies. It was great. It was great and terrible. But it was always stocked with lots of Archie comics. Disgustingly just absorbing all of the filth of years of camping, and then we picked them up and we read them because we're stupid. We also cooked marshmallows and wieners over tire fires. Scarlet Solus is back again. How you doing, streaming friend? We came here for the poop stories. We don't want to hear your poop worries. We want to hear how the plops don't stop, how you rock it in the outhouse in 1991. So I've read a lot of those. I forgot. That was not a poop story, that was an Archie. So yeah, I grabbed this Betty comic, and I started flipping through, and it's just like, what is this even about? Who worked on this? And so I immediately looked to see, like, all of the writers, all of the artists, which there are several. It's all just men, and I just picture them all being just, like, big, like, kind of suit-wearing, just cranky old men writing this Betty book for girls. Because, like, every story was just like, who, like, what? Have you even met a girl? Who wrote this? This is insane. Because it was still like, hey, I'm gonna solve this mystery now. And it's just like, why? Because a boy wrote this? Like, this could be about anything. And it's just still kept trying to be like a weird, I don't know, like Batman story. It's weird. But there is a section, that's just like, advice from Betty. Write to Betty, and she'll give you advice on things, and all the questions are like, oh, I like this boy named Gary, but Gary's in another class, like, should I just, devote my whole life to Gary or not? Oh, I'm 9 years old. And, it says the advice is from this lady, but who knows? Who knows? I was like, I'm afraid to even see what people were telling young girls in a comic book advice section in the early 90s. And I think I only read that one or whatever, and it was still like, alright, at least it seems relatively responsible, where it's just like, hey, you don't owe your life to anybody, you're still young, figure out the world, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, oh, thank God, that was close, because if it did say like, well, this is what boys like, this is what how you should adjust your whole life so you can trap that boy. But old comic stuff is weird in and of itself. Anyway, because I had left the house and went on a comic book looking, that was the pawn shop, I got the Betty book, so, I was like, well, I left the house for a minute, so I deserve food cooked by somebody else out of doors, and it's Saturday morning, which means I can go get breakfast. So I went to this place, not too far from here, like just like a 4-minute walk or so, in the same like strip mall as the comic book store. Sat down, ordered breakfast, It came pretty quick. Actually, I started drawing whatever that last pen sketch of a monster and Milo on my Instagram is. I drew that while I was eating my breakfast. And while I'm there eating, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, out of the expected place, the doorway, there's like just a ruckus, just a bunch of noise of like what I assume is, you know, one of the local drunks, one of the local alcoholics coming in first thing in the morning and just doing that standard, you know, not old man, but just that standard man thing or dad thing where it's just like there's already some men there at the bar, whether they know them or not, like, hey, who let you fellas in here? And they're just like, oh, who let you out of your cage? So they're doing that, but the one guy is just specifically loud in a specific octave, in a specific tone that that took me back. It took me back to a time when my dad was alive, and he would just show up places like, what's going on here? And we'd be like playing basketball in the neighbor's driveway, and he'd come over in some like flip-flops or cowboy boots while wearing shorts, just be like, basketball, like, okay. And then my friends are like, can you get rid of your dad? Like, yeah, that's definitely a thing I can do. This guy who was super drunk on a Tuesday evening, yeah, we're just gonna ask him to leave, and he's not gonna stay out of spite. You guys don't know how to, like, anyway. So what came into the restaurant was a very, very good impression to me of what, you know, the annoying version of my dad. That still, you know, was ripe with fun stories and all that stuff, but it was still the part that's just like, oh, come on now. I'm just trying to hang out with my friends, or we're just at the mall. Can you just be, you know, reasonable? And of course, now I've reached a certain age where I'm like, no, he was right. He was right. Everything is a mess. Everybody's crazy. Be as crazy as you want to be, because it doesn't matter. There's always somebody crazier than you in a worse way. And at least his craziness was always for the reason of I want to cause trouble. I want to start trouble to remind people to be a good person. He was like if Mr. Rogers kicked down doors and it was like, all right, now we're doing craft. For whatever. Like, and just like a lot of swearing, but amongst it all, it was always about helping people, doing good things, and just doing your best. But you know, when you're really drunk, sometimes you just don't do your best, and you scare children. So I'm sitting there eating, and this guy doesn't stop talking. He comes in, and then like a bunch of other people come in, and I'm like, oh, this is like a whole family thing. So he is joined by at least 8 to 9 people, like young girls and guys. I think some of the girls, some of the guys were his kids, and then some of the other ones were like their friends and or girlfriends, boyfriends. But they're at a table now, just like 3 tables over from me, a big booth, you know, with almost 10 people, if not 10 people. And he's still just laughing and joking away, and he's just like, oh, you guys are great. It's so great to see you guys. Like, oh, you guys fill me with such joy kind of thing. And it was just, again, such a, like, I'm sitting there, like, eating scrambled eggs and just being like, oh, eggs are disgusting, but God, these are good. But just, like, hearing all these things that are like, those are the things that he says. And I'm just, like, literally, like, welling up, where I'm like, and I looked over and I was like, oh, yeah, cool. He even looks like my dad. You know, those times when a person with a drinking problem suddenly gets rid of their facial hair because it's just like, oh, obviously you were too drunk to shave and it went all lopsided, so you had to scorched earth the whole thing. He looked like that version as well. From whatever it was, it seemed like, you know, they'd already been drinking the night before. He was drinking the night before. He definitely wasn't sober at the time. And he was ordering some beers or whatever. And he was like, yeah. The waitress comes over, like, yeah, it's all on me or whatever. And the kids are just like, Dad, no, like, you can't afford this. Like, we'll order whatever. But yeah, like, we're gonna pay for this or whatever. And he's like, oh, of course, if you want steaks or whatever, like, yeah, you gotta have to buy that yourself. But like, we're just gonna, get something to drink or whatever. And then, one of the kids is like, oh, can I get a shot? And the dad's like, oh, like a shot of ice cream, do you mean? Like, you guys crack me up or whatever. So it's like, all right, so these are still young kids. Like, they're not kids who have jobs taking their dad out for dinner. But he was still just like, oh, I'm just so glad to have you all here and blah, blah, blah. And just that standard dad stuff. Whatever. So I can plainly hear them ordering their food. And they're just like, all right, like chicken wings? Like, yeah, we're here to get chicken wings. Like, yeah, we're all excited to get chicken wings. Zeri Bolos. Did I draw that? That looks like something I drew. I think I drew that. On the last Streamlabs stream. So they're like, yeah, chicken wings or whatever. It's like, yeah, so give us some chicken wings. Like, we're gonna get a bunch of chicken wings. So the waitress is like, like an order of chicken wings or whatever. They're just like, well, how many chicken wings are in an order? And she's like, well, there's just 10 in an order, and there's like 10 of them there. So he's like, all right then, well then, 2 orders of chicken wings then. Like, okay, and they get 2 orders of chicken wings, and a few of them get some milkshakes, and he gets like some beer. And I'm just like, oh my god. That's like 2 chicken wings each. That's unacceptable. And if not for the fact that I was trying not to cry still, I wanted to stop the waitress and just be like, give them at least 2 more orders of chicken wings, and I will pay for them, please. But I just couldn't. They were still too close that it's like, I didn't want them to hear me. I didn't want to connect with them or make friends with them, but I wanted them to have a better time. And plus they started with like, Dad, you can't afford this. Like, none of you can afford whatever's happening here. Oh god. And also, whatever. Like, I want to buy my dad some breakfast right now, and I can't because he's dead. But you made me want to do that. Now I'm trying not to cry into my effing eggs. So I'm not mad at these people. So whatever. I finish eating a little bit faster because I am like literally like starting to like well up because I'm just like, the more he talks, the more they're going on. I'm just like, ah! It feels like one of those movies where it's just like, I'm on hard times now, but I'm watching my family videos and just like, no, remember when those people were alive before I got them killed in that horrible bank job that I botched because I'm not a good cop or whatever, but I'll redeem myself in this movie. Part of me was picturing Minority Report there, but none of that was Minority Report. So I finished eating and went over and paid for mine. Then I was like, wait. I was like, before I go, that table in the corner there was like, can I just pay for theirs right now, or at least whatever they've ordered so far? And she was like, oh my god. She's like, yeah, of course. Like, that's really nice. It was like, no, I was like, whatever. It was like, I could barely talk to her. I'm like, sorry. It was like, that table just brought my dad back from the dead, and I just have to do this. And she gave me the bill, and I still, for the rest of the day, I was just like, I should have just ordered them more food. They needed more chicken wings, and I was like hoping like maybe she'll at least tell them this is paid for and they'll order more chicken wings, because I know 2 chicken wings isn't enough. I used to eat them, by the 15s. It used to be they would come in baskets of 15 for like $4 back in the day, and you would eat 30 chicken wings and then get more, and hopefully somebody would share them because over 30 chicken wings is too many, and then you would eat them anyway, and you'd go home and feel bad. So what they ordered, I was so, oh my god, it was like, this isn't even anything, because I thought for sure it was like, it's going to be like $120, something like that. I was like, but I can't just be like, can I see what their bill is before I pay for it? Because I think I want to pay for it, but I don't want to just suddenly go, oh, they ordered $200 worth of stuff, but it's like, there's 10 of them. But it was only $40-some, because they only got a few milkshakes between 1 million people and a few chicken wings between 1 million people. And I genuinely just felt terrible that I didn't turn around and just go, actually, send over a bunch more food to that table. They're trying to have a good time. But they were genuinely still, it was a very, fahu forhe, dahu dorhe, whoville time. They were all gathered around the round table, practically hand in hand, eating up the roast beast. And I was just like, man, That's awesome. That's awesome that you guys clearly yeah, are all going through some stuff in different ways, shapes, and forms, but you're having a, you know, you're still doing it. You know, I've been places with people where it is just like, hey, we're gonna get some chicken wings. Like, well, that's not enough. Man, it's just like, hey, if anybody else is paying for your stuff, you take it, you thank for it, and you be happy with it. If you're gonna go buy yourself something else later on, go for it. Don't be ungrateful for things. Like, just don't be ungrateful for things. But yeah, they seem to be doing pretty good. And I also was just like, I don't want the who's gonna pay for this fight to go on. I wanna win that fight. So I sneakily went up and I won that fight. And made me feel real good. But then yeah, as soon as I got outside, I'm just like, well, I guess I'm not going anywhere else today. Cause I'm just like, just dripping from my eyes. And hoping that I don't run into these people again. Just cause, you know, you want a Spider-Man into these people's lives and then thwip away, leaving, you know, only a trace, leaving only footsteps filled with good intentions and good deeds, as opposed to, again, you know, there's 1,000 people out there I'd love to get revenge on for just being jerks, and normally I try my best not to. Like, I've said this 1,000 times before, when I really hated one of my neighbors, and I tried to just complain about, this neighbor sucks to my dad was like, oh, well, you know what we should do then? And I thought he was gonna, like, probably tell me, like, you get some fish and put it under his step. Like, cause, you know, he grew up as, you know, I'm a troublemaker and a scallywag. You know, we had lots of weird scams and stuff we ran. Cause, you know, it was the 70s. But he was like, do you any good at making pies? Have you met your son ever? Do you know me? No, I've never made a pie. I'm never going to make a pie. Are you suggesting I make a pie for this jerk-faced neighbor? And he's like, yeah. He's like, or you go to the bakery, pick a nice one, and get their best pie, bring it over, and give it to him. Like, and then what? Sit and eat pie with him? And he's like, yeah. He's like, that'll show him. That'll show him what? He's like, kill him with kindness. He won't know what to do with himself. He'll be like, what's this guy even doing over here? Why is he doing this? He's just being nice to me with a pie all of a sudden? I was like, wait, so this is still a game of you know, we're still messing with this guy's head. This is for revenge. So sometimes I do good deeds as an act of revenge now, as an act of spite, and it makes me feel good. As long as something good comes out of it. Kujin is back with his dinosaur friends. Kujin. He's got a new name, Alexius Porman. I hope someday that changes to Kujin the Rich. Kujin the Rich. He's got all the money. Doesn't have to scratch an itch, cause he can pay someone to do it. But why would you do that? That's gross. Yeah, I gotta write down more things, but yeah. Within those adventures, there was, part of that day was, I did run into somebody, who was in the process of being an ungrateful jerk to, like, their family or their friend or something like that. And then that also kind of spited me along to just like, oh, you're over here complaining about not having enough? I'm literally gonna give money away. And where's Batman? He's at home, washing his tights. Hubba, 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 money, 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 who do you trust? Of course, in that instance, you know, the Joker poisoned everybody. I just want to do something nice and smoke bomb disappear. Like some sort of good Batman. Some sort of good Batman. What do you mean? I'm the good guy here. You're surrounded by villains and ne'er-do-wells, and you're acting like I'm the bad guy. Yeah, I break some legs. Sometimes you gotta break a few legs in order to make some omelets. You're incorrigible. You're incorrigible. You're a good guy like Dr. House was a good guy. You're kind of still evil, but still one of my favorites. Still one of my favorites. Exactly. That's the whole game, Pat. Everybody... Oh, here's a weird analogy. In pandemic times, but like everybody's basically always infecting everybody else with their moods, with their emotions, with their rage, with their happiness. And the amount of times I've run into people that have just thanked me for being polite, it's just so disheartening to know that, oh, everybody else has just been cranky and mean to you all day. All you're doing is taking mail to be delivered, or you're dropping off the mail to be delivered, or you're serving food, or whatever, you're getting animation done. Excuse me. And there's just so many people that are just at the drop of a dime, ready to just scream at anybody who they think has just stolen all of their time. But it's just like, yeah, that's what happens. Somebody infected you with their crankiness before you left the house or halfway through, and then you infect the next person with your crankiness, and it's just a fact that emotions beget more emotions. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. So whether or not I'm having a great day or not, I try my best not to drop sadness bombs on people or whatever, just things. I try to, I try to be the balloon floating through the air that people go, hey, a balloon. I feel good about my life. Or check it out, look at this panda bear sneezing. I want to be the panda bear sneezing to people's lives rather than, hey, look at this, the polar bear just ate everybody. I don't want to be the polar bear that, tears apart your picnic. You know how did I say polar bear or grizzly bear? Brown bear? Black bear. I don't want to be the polar bear that tears apart your summertime picnic. And that's my goal. That's my goal in life. Of course, that being said, like I've told a bunch of things, like I still get road rage. I still get, I still will take out little bits of, visceral, immediate reactions sometimes. Like I've made comics about Milo saying it, and I've talked about it on here where I've just done it myself in real life. But it's like, sadly, the birds are always ready to fly. It's very hard if somebody's being a jerk to somebody else specifically, or if they're just being a jerk in traffic, like freaking out at somebody. I find it very hard not to instantly give that person the finger. And then I'm like, now I have to deal with this, the repercussions of this. Always regret it, always feel bad about it. Because the only other thing in my head is, oh, should I follow that person home and then go get them a gift card and be, hey, I noticed you were having a bad day because you were being a complete turd and in traffic over there. so I brought you something nice. Now, how do you feel? And again, there's nothing more satisfying than watching somebody reluctantly turn from sad to happy. And especially an adult. When kids do it, I'm over it. I don't care. But like, that thing when you've got a little kid that's like crying, and she's like, oh my god, somebody didn't share with me, or oh my god, I dropped my ice cream, and I'm just inconsolable. And then you like, make a little joke or make a little noise, or just like, well, there's this ice cream over here. Like maybe I don't know. I guess it's yours. No, maybe I'll add 2 scoops. Now it's worth 2, so it's even better than last time. So it's great that you dropped that other one, because now it encouraged me to give you 2 scoops. And then, that point where they're just like, and they can't decide, should I keep being sad? Should I stick with this? Or should I just grow and change right now? And one of the best memes that's floating around out there. Don't you normally spend most of your time talking about how memes are stupid and that they're the worst and they're just stealing and copying everybody else's things? Yes, but one of the things that they copied and stole is the one about something. Yes, that's what it is. If you can look back on your life and you regret a bunch of stuff, regret the kind of person you were at certain points, it's good because it means you're probably not that kind of person anymore and you've changed. So it's like you've grown, and that's a good thing. It's good to look back and go, oh God, that guy sucked. 2 weeks ago, Curtis was garbage. And 4 weeks from now, Curtis is going to be better than this one. Like, that's just how it goes. Because every day you're either learning to get better at being a jerk, or you're learning that your jerkitudes are unnecessary. To yourself. To the world, of course. But, again, carrying around that negativity, carrying around the harsh nonsense that you might have done in public, it weighs on you. It's difficult. There was I keep thinking I have to delete TikTok. It's not good. I never post anything there anymore, or I rarely do. But if I occasionally open it up, it's always just hate. I don't know. That's just what my algorithm is. But there was this one woman yesterday that it didn't show the situation, but it showed the aftermath where she was like, oh, and then I chased these people down to their car, and I'm like, make these people infamous. Like, they made a comment while my friend's battery, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, when you scroll through her whole feed, it's just like, that's all you're doing, is you're just looking for people to scream at in the run of a day. Like, that's it. It's like, but she's screaming, like, these Karens over here. It's like, you are being, like, maybe they weren't good people. I don't know. They just look scared and confused right now. So there's a chance that maybe you imagined they said something, and they were talking about something else. Like, I don't know, because they genuinely just seem like we don't know what's going on, and you are screaming at us. But then, yeah, it's just like every TikTok of it is just close up her face, just like in rage, and it's just like, all right, cool. If that's how you want to spend your day, I guess. You're just finding things to be raged about. And inviting it in even more so? I'm like, I don't know. I'm angry about stuff all the time. And trying my best to always get over it. How long has this been? An hour and 23 minutes. That's pretty good considering I was only going to go for like an hour. I don't know what the words are going to be to this one yet. Exactly, like, there are people like that is their job. Like, I don't know, I can only think about, like, the amount of people that it's basically their job to just get yelled at by people all the time, just for, like, whatever, trying to sell tickets at a ticket booth, and there's just a lot of people that are just like, this is where we bring our anger every day. And I don't want to be one of those people. Like, I don't know, I still regret there was once... I got on an airplane for work, went to a place, and then it was like, all right, you're going to have to get into this little plane, meet up with your big plane to go back home. And I'm just like, good, I can't wait to get home. I don't like traveling like this. I just want to go home. And we got on the first plane, and then got to the second stop before to go home, and we get to the thing, and the lady's just like, all right, yeah, so your plane's already gone. I'm like, but I have a ticket. We have tickets. You knew we were coming. You have a whole schedule and stuff. You couldn't, you have to, this is a connecting flight. It's specifically supposed to connect with this flight, so now what do we do? It's like, oh, we'll get you new tickets for another flight. Like, but when though? Like, I kind of had all of this planned out. One of us is dying of the flu over here, and we just want to go home, and you just let it go. You just let it go, and on hindsight or whatever, it's like, of course you had to let it go. There's a lot of people going all over the world. Schedules have to be kept, but it's like, well, if this one couldn't make it, well, then now everything's thrown off. Like, that shouldn't be legal. And I was so mad where I was just like, I can't remember what I said. I was just like, oh, fine, well, whatever. We don't matter then. We just don't matter. People don't matter. Nobody matters. We'll just go route over here, and Brent will die, I guess. That's fine. And I feel bad that I did that, because it's like, well, that lady behind the counter, she had no connection to any of those things. She didn't make any of those decisions. She was just the person that was there to, as politely as possible, give us the bad news and give us our new tickets. And I was immediately set into the mode of just like, I'm in Inconvenience Town, and you put me there. And it's like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. But it's just that thing. Is like, when I'm not at home, I just want to get back home. And most people are like that. And we have to try to take a step outside of ourselves sometimes and look at what we're doing to other people and other animals, foliage, whatever. Sometimes we're just angry at everything, and we don't know what to do with ourselves. But I am physically in pain right now, so I absolutely have to stop. I'm almost definitely not going to do a stream next week. If I do, it'll just be video games, and maybe another week or two I'll be back. I have no idea how comfortable I will be with sitting up after a week, but I know it's going to be like 6 to 8 weeks or 5 to 6 weeks, whatever they said, before I actually feel better. Wait, no, yeah, like 4 to 5 weeks before I feel better, 6 to 8 weeks before I'm actually better. Still don't do anything. Like, all right, fine. You don't want to tear this open again. But anyway, the closer that it gets, the more it randomly hurts out of nowhere. Whereas before I could just sit here and it's fine, but now it's like, oh, I stood up, you're in pain. Oh, I sat down, you're in pain. And the only real cure is to lay down flat for literally like 10 seconds and I'll be fine. But I think that's all. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure out something, words for this in a little bit. But yeah, I just need to sit down. Hey, how could I postpone this for like a few minutes longer so that, I could just watch you in pain? And then maybe this will, result in me getting those sweet, sweet eye beats as a treat in the morning or in the middle of the night, depending on when you pass. Is that the... Stop. Please, stop trying to eat my eye meats. And save me? Save me if I start to die. Don't just start eating the eye meats, please, and or thank you.
Can I also cause trouble? I don't even have any eye meats. I could use some for my eyes. Yeah, please and thank you. Let's share.
No! Everybody! Ripley, sweetest angel. Let's wrap this up.
Meow, meow, meow.
Don't share in the eye. I mean, if I'm dead, yes, then share it with them, but please just do the right thing. Thanks again for hanging out. Usually here on Tuesdays, like I said. MrCartoons.com for the store where there's the books I've made and links to the merch store of some shirts and designs and whatnot. And I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. Follow me on Instagram. That's where all the updates are. I'm on Twitter as well, even though that's just a depressing place. But I still put all the updates there as well. But everybody, have a good night. And or good day, whatever time it is. Thanks for everybody hanging out. New, old, it's all been good. And once again, very happy that nobody came in with hate crimes or meanness. Just good people saying good things. Have a good night. Have a great, I want to say weekend. It's only Tuesday. Oh my god, I feel like it's the weekend. But eventually have a great weekend. Please and or thank you.
Meow and meow, meow, meow.
You don't have to count down to the credits, Ripley. You just play the credits when I stop talking, and it's fine. It's fine.
But what if I had more things to say? Yeah. I have some scathing poems about that scourging He-Man.
Scourging?
I couldn't think of the word scoundreling.
That's not a word either. You guys are out of control. You guys are out of control. But I'm still the favorite though, right? The Skeleton Man's not taking over my favorite position. I don't know who's favorite. I'm playing two different musics right now. This is